From the studios in beautiful Oceanport, New Jersey, welcome to the biggest and greatest podcast ever. I'm your host, Ray Kay. Hey everybody, this is part 2 of my interview with Byron Hunt. The rule changes, do you think they're helping, I guess? Do you agree with all these rule changes recently, to help that situation?
I think from a it's smart, from a legal point of view, from a that's important because you don't want any more lawsuits. And with so much conversation going on about the NFL and the concussions or whatever, down the road, it's not just the NFL. And I mean, NFL is connected to, all these Pop Warner football teams around the country. They are very conscious about these young kids playing football and their moms, their dads being comfortable with allowing their kids to play football. So it's a PR thing, all the way down to those 3-4 household families that have one or two boys or maybe one or two girls, wife. But the bottom line is they want to make sure that they're addressing this in a way that women can understand it. And that's really the key.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that women can understand it.
That women can understand it because the women in the families,
right?
First of all, they're the only ones that are able to bear children, and they have a lot of say-so about whether or not their son is going to play football.
Yeah. I mean, I get that 110%. Actually, I got a situation with my son. He's 14, he's 6. He wants to play, football in high school next year. And we said, okay, but we're a little nervous about it. Let me ask you, Byron, would you have, like, if you had a son that was going to play high school, would you let him play either Pop Warner or high school football? Would you be okay with it?
I would be fine with it.
Okay.
But I would be fine with that. Sure.
Okay. Now, is there anything that can be? Are they doing enough, or just enough, or I guess there's always more things anybody could do on anything. I imagine is there something else you'd like to see them do other than maybe having more of that settlement instead of the $4.5 million to bump that up? But is there anything else on the field, or is there anything else you can do, to help this? You want the sport to be the sport. You don't want to, have it be like touch football. So, is there anything else you see that they can do to help this thing?
Well, I don't know if there's anything else. I was just thinking, while you were talking,
yeah.
What else can be done? I mean, look, right now, there's a big push for NFL pensions to be increased, which is going to help all that,
Okay.
Which is, not only pension increases, but also health insurance and things like that, because that's really the next step is, okay, we've addressed the CTE and concussion losses or whatever. Now let's address the pensions so that players have better pensions. These are retired players that that played back in the 80s, 90s, and prior to that. Our pensions are on a scale of 1 to 10. Our pensions are probably minus 10 compared to all of the other professional sports. Very, very poor.
Right, and the average lifespan in NFL, I don't know if the number is 100% accurate, but it's something low, right? Like 3.2 years, or like 4 years at most is like the average. I mean, it's not too high.
That is correct. Yeah.
So you got
very, very low.
Right. So it just shows you. I guess you always hear how brutal it is. Did you get that feeling playing it that this is a brutal sport? I mean,
nah, not really.
Okay.
I think when I was playing, I really didn't even think about it.
Okay. Let's talk about. I'm going to get a quick thing about your Super Bowl, then I want to talk about mentoring and stuff, and some of your guys that influence you, and maybe some advice that you could give kids, maybe that are getting into football or even life. Super Bowl. Tell me about that season. I mean, the Giants are in the Super Bowl. I remember that was almost, as a fan, even though I wasn't a Giants fan, but that was like unbelievable. Like, I can't believe they're going to win a Super Bowl, after the whole run. Tell me about that magical season of '86.
Well, '86, I think we lost our first game. And then we lost, I think, our 9th or 10th game. But we only lost 2 games that season. I mean, we were, 14-2 regular season. And, of course, we end up winning, we had 14-2. Yep. And then we played in the NFC Championship game at home. The Cowboys, of course. Met the Cowboys, but the Redskins came to us, and we beat them. I think that was the NFC Championship game. Yep.
I mean, you guys ran through the playoffs, right? I mean, it was like everything was like almost a rout. It seemed,
Yeah. Well, we shut out the Redskins. We beat the 49ers 49-3, and then we the Super Bowl against the Broncos. Here's the thing. We knew that we could beat the Broncos. We'd already beat the Broncos that season. We'd already beat the Broncos at home in a game where there was not one offensive touchdown scored. We got a safety, and we scored on defense.
Okay, I never knew it.
That was our 9 points.
Okay. And you won the game.
And the Broncos had 2 field goals.
Okay.
So it was a 9-6 game.
Now you're going to the Super Bowl, so now you kind of, I mean, you probably kind of know you're going to win, right? I mean, I'm sure the confidence probably is like through the roof, right? Going into that game, you beat them already. You're 14-2. You're blowing people out in the playoffs. You're like, hey, let's finish this deal off. I mean, was it that kind of feeling going into that game?
Yeah, we were on a roll.
Right. You just know it. Right. Right.
Yeah, I guarantee you the 53, whoever the last guy on the squad, you might. Whatever name you want to put there, or if you pick any one of those guys out of there, off the 53-man roster, and you ask them what they thought about the Super Bowl beforehand, said we're going to win. That was it. We had confidence. We had ultimate confidence. I mean, we had ultimate confidence, and we had everybody playing on a high level. Everybody.
Okay,
and that's hard to get.
Yeah. What was it like winning it? I mean, Dan Marino's never won it. I mean, a lot of unbelievably great Hall of Famers have never won a ring. I mean, was that feeling just as you could imagine to be like none other? I mean, was it that great of a feeling? Best moment ever?
For Giant fans, it was a long time coming.
Right.
So I know how we were received, in New Jersey, New York area. I mean,
well, how did Byron Hunt feel? How did Byron Hunt feel about that?
Byron Hunt.
What was going on with you? Like, yeah, Byron Hunt. What's your feelings on all that?
My feeling was that we won the Super Bowl, and my feeling was about all those guys that had came in before me that didn't get a chance to experience, like Brad Van Pelt, Brian Kelly, Beasley Reese, all these guys that were playing. These guys were playing. They were starters with the Giants, or longtime players with the Giants. When I got there, Harry Carson was lucky; he got to experience it. He was he's probably out of all the defensive players left on our team, he was probably him, George Martin. They were probably the 2 guys that I was most happiest for, because they were from that original group that had hung in there.
Okay.
And got a chance to get that Super Bowl ring. So, they had seen a lot more people come and go than I had, but I thought about all those guys that were there the year before, and contributed to us getting to that point.
So was it a bittersweet thing, a bittersweet type thing, where like you won this thing, but you're like, oh shoot, Van Pelt couldn't be here for it, all these other great guys,
Yeah, I mean, good guys too. Yeah, but yeah, I was, it was bittersweet. I guess you could say, yeah. I wish those guys could have had a chance to experience that as well.
Okay. And we were talking earlier about what it takes, even like in any sport, high school, college, like what you guys had in '86. Like I think you were kind of saying how it's important in the locker room. You got like what 3 or 4 things, Byron, like that goes into like making this championship team that is like crucial. Maybe if you don't have one of these things, you're not going to do it.
Well, I guess the first thing you got to do is you have to have an offense and defense that complements each other, which means you got to balance. So you have to have a balanced attack.
Okay.
Both offensively and defense, which means you got to be able to run the ball and you got to be able to throw the ball on offense. On defense, you got to be able to stop the run and you got to be able to rush the passer. And we had all 4 of those things going on our way to the Super Bowl in '86.
Okay. Now,
so that's 4 things, but that's basically what you got to have to win it all.
So any team that would like the Patriots these days, all these teams have those things going for them. They need those ingredients. Everyone has that 4-step thing that you need.
Absolutely, that is paramount. If you can't rush the passer and you can't stop the run when you got to stop the run, or if you can't run the ball on offense when you got the lead, or if you can't convert on third down when you need to keep that drive alive, then you're not going to win. You're just not going to win the Super Bowl. It's just it.
Yeah. Well, I'm a big Packer fan, and I see my Packers can never ever seem to go past the first round. I guess that's it. I mean, they don't have the blocking. They get into Rodgers fast, and they don't got the pass. Without those things, it's like you're not going to do it. You're going to be stopped at like early in the rounds. Right.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm just a little old fan, and I kind of could see how that. It's like they're not going to do it. You can't have that thing going on and win it. Did you have any mentors growing up, Byron? Anybody that you really admired that really helped you?
Hey, there's 8 guys that came from my high school that played pro football.
Okay.
8? One guy.
Wow. Okay.
One guy who if you do not know the name of this guy, then you are not a Packer fan.
Go ahead.
The great Max McGee.
Oh, wow.
Max McGee graduated from White Oak High School and caught the first touchdown in Super Bowl I.
Yeah. He kind of did a little bobble, right? He kind of hit the ball up, and yeah. Max McGee.
Well, actually, Bart Starr delivered the pass behind him.
Right.
And Max reached back. He reached back and pulled it in and ran for a touchdown.
Okay. He was from your high school. Okay.
White Oak High School.
Okay. Did you ever meet Max McGee?
I did indeed.
Okay.
And we became pretty good friends because he had never been back to White Oak until I asked him to come back and do a event with me where we brought all the guys that played pro football from White Oak.
Oh, okay.
And we did what's called a White Oak reunion of all the guys.
Cool.
That played pro football.
Yeah. Okay.
And we all of us came from White Oak High School.
Now that game with Max McGee, I mean, he didn't even start, I don't think, that year, right? Wasn't it like, I know it was a fluky thing where he kind of got in there and he makes these TD catches, right? It was like a pretty wild story, I think, right? I know he was a big partier. You hear with Lombardi and stuff. So, I mean, he's quite an interesting character,
Well, what happened in that game is that I think the first series, they used to do what they call crackbacks,
Right.
In which the wide receiver would come and try to crack back. They would have him crack backing on a linebacker. So Boyd Dollar dislocated his shoulder that first series. And out of the blue, and Vince Lombardi, instead of going for the guy that was, and I don't even know who the guy was backing up Boyd Dollar, but he called Max McGee's name and said, "Max, get in the game."
Mm-hmm.
Max didn't even know where his helmet was. So Max, he just grabbed the first helmet he saw.
That's funny.
And put it on and ran into the game, and the rest is history.
Wow. I love that behind the scene type stuff that you don't really hear about unless you know guys that actually played in the games,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Max said Max tell the story. He had been out all night. He in the first round pick from Notre Dame. Uh, oh man, why can't I think of his name? But anyway, the
Paul
running
Hornan.
back.
Paul Hornan.
Yeah, they had been out about 4 or 5 in the morning, and they didn't get in until about 4 or 5 o'clock.
Right.
You know.
So that really happened. You always hear this with Lombardi, and then these guys actually were partying, and
I heard it
you
right
wonder if it's
from
true or
Max
not. You
McGee.
know? Okay. So it was true, that story. Okay.
He told the story, not only to me but to other people as well.
Right.
So it is a true story.
I've been to Green Bay, and they have a great history there because they got all the ex-players that always are around. You know, it's just a pretty cool type thing. I don't know if other teams have that kind of thing. You know, it's just sort of an event. Going there. For like a weekend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The well, one of my heroes when I was a kid, one of my idols. I like Ray Nitschke because his name was Ray, and I liked Bart Starr, who passed away recently. Who
Right.
have you ever met Bart Starr or?
I did meet Bart Starr, and when Max McGee passed away, I went to his funeral. I met all the Packers, all the former Packers. They were all there.
Okay, right.
Yeah, they were all being interviewed or talking. Because it was a unique kind of ceremony where. There was someone that wanted to make sure that they got an interview on camera of all the former players and about Max McGee. And, Max McGee he played about 16 years for the Packers.
Okay.
So
okay.
There was a lot of Max McGee stories.
Right.
And he was well liked, by the team because he was kind of a jokester, you know what I mean?
Right. I met Fuzzy Thurston. I was talking to him in Green Bay at his bar back then, and he said how he played in 58 Colts and the Packers. And I said, what was the better team? He says he wouldn't say, but he said Packers. We were a team. We were together all those years. So we had that brotherhood thing, that whole team thing going, which the
Right.
Colts didn't have. So that was pretty cool. Do you ever meet Ray Nitschke?
I did. I did. I met those guys out there. Yeah,
okay.
All at the funeral.
Okay. That's fascinating.
All they knew, they didn't even. I didn't say, look, I played for the Giants, but I said, hey, Max, was from White Oak High School, and I'm out here paying my respect to him all the way from White Oak, Texas. So.
Right. So there's something about that program, I guess. That's a lot of NFL players coming from one high school.
Yeah.
Max, I'm going to talk about some fun stuff. What do you think about the Giants draft this year? I mean, I'm hearing some great things about the draft. Are you following this?
Well, I think the Giants drafted all the players they needed. They needed a linebacker. They needed a quarterback. They needed a cornerback. They needed offensive line help. They needed, so they picked players. I need somebody to rush the passer. So they picked what they needed.
Okay.
The Giants couldn't stop the run, and they couldn't rush the passer.
Right.
At times they couldn't run the ball, and at times they couldn't protect the passer. So you can't throw it. So they had to address all those, and they did. So whether or not they'll pan out, we'll see.
Right, just because your first round pick doesn't even really mean much, right? I mean, there's like 6 round picks that make it. I guess it's in the player themselves. I guess, like even though this quarterback I'm reading, it has tremendous potential, I guess, to eventually replace Eli, right? The new, the number 1 pick, right? The 6th round pick in the draft.
Right.
Darryl Jones. Darryl Jones, right? No, Daniel Jones. That's it. Right.
Daniel Jones.
Right.
I don't know much about him except for. He's one of those guys that's been in Eli Manning, Peyton Manning's camp, for, year after year after year. So the Giants know him well, and they put him on the level with Eli and Peyton as far as 2 guys that know football in quarterback position inside and out, offenses,
Right. And I love the reactions when these players get drafted, and then they focus on them, whether at their home or if they're at the event. And it's just like this great thing. Did you feel that too, Byron, when you were drafted in 80 or 81? Was it that unbelievably great feeling that you see these reactions of these guys? I mean, that must be some feeling.
Well, it was quite different because I was sitting in my apartment next to my telephone.
You were,
wait, you know,
you were waiting. You were waiting for the call.
fielding phone calls. So you get phone calls and they say, Byron, we're thinking about drafting you. How tall are you? So I went through 2 or 3 calls of that, and then I finally got a call from the Giants in the 9th round. The guy says, "We just took you. What's the closest airport to you? You got to get on a plane up here." And that was basically gave him my information and hopped on the plane.
Okay, so for them to ask you how tall you are, obviously they didn't do a lot of research back then. They must have just kind of looked and say, "Hey, this guy did pretty good here. Let's see if we could draft him. We're in the 9th round." Is that the feeling? I mean, that's kind of quite a question to ask you. You know, how tall?
Hey, you know what? When you're a senior in college, and most guys are going to. I mean, they had what's called the East-West Shrine game. They had the Blue-Gray West Shrine game. That was like an NFL camp.
Okay.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
The smart guys, which I was one of them, said, "There's no way I'm going to do that. I'm going to take the trip to Hawaii to see the Hula Bowl.
I got you.
I'm going to go to Japan and hang out over there and play in the Japan Bowl and enjoy. I mean, my last football college years, days, that is. So that's what I did.
Okay.
I didn't want to be in training camp before I need to be in training camp.
I got you. Right.
A lot of guys did. I mean, a lot of guys did like I did. We went to Hula Bowl, went to Japan Bowl. Guys like Hugh Green, Kenny Easley, Freeman McNeil, Lawrence Taylor didn't go anywhere. I don't think. I think he just hung out in North Carolina and waited for training camp. Mark. So a lot of the guys were playing in those bowl games, senior bowl games, where it was just fun, and you didn't practice.
I got you.
You didn't walk through.
Right.
You walked through, and then you hung out in Japan. You hung out in Hawaii.
Hey, if I'm 21, I'm doing that too. I think I mean.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
Okay. What advice would you give say a kid's like real good in football in high school? Any advice you could give other than play hard and those usual advice things, or any special advice, Byron, you would give a kid that's say coming up and doing well in football?
Hey, work hard on those grades.
Work hard on those what?
Grades. That's number one.
Grades. Okay. Because the odds of you making NFL are probably 1 in like 200,000 or something. It's probably some huge number. So that comes into play, the importance of the grades.
Yeah. Plus, if you got poor grades, I mean, you're not gonna get a chance to go to a major college.
Okay.
They're not gonna look at you. The first thing they're gonna want to know is how's your grade.
Right. Okay. No matter how good you are.
You think Alabama are bringing players down there that have poor grades? You think Ohio State? You think those teams, those major college programs, Penn State? You think they're bringing in players that they think won't last through one football year? Heck no, they're not going to waste their time. They're going after those guys that have good grades.
Because with the poor grades, you're going to get kicked out of the school after a year, and then you're going to be gone. And plus, I'm sure the good grades show some kind of thing about your character, I imagine, too. Like a double thing. You're going to last, and hey, this kid's a good kid. He's doing well, Right.
Or he's got potential to do well. So you do well. So yeah.
So the grades. Grades
are important. That's the first thing coaches look at in recruiting. They're going to want to know how's the kid's grades.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Focus on the grades. Maybe work as hard as you do on the field as the studies.
Or try to.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Hey, I'm going to get into my last section, Byron, my word association. Just one more thing. Are you still a Patriot fan, or now are you more Giants since you played with them?
No, I've been a Patriot. I mean, Patriots is in my heart. I grew up with the Patriots, so
okay.
It's like growing up with family with the Patriots.
Okay, right. It's in your heart, in your blood, or whatever. I mean,
it's like I know all those guys. Look, I stay in touch with a lot of the Patriot players, just like I stay in touch with a lot of Giant players. But I try to go to a Patriot game every year, and when I go, I'm big. My brother is in the Patriots Hall of Fame, so he's well known, throughout the Patriots organization.
Okay. Okay.
So when I go up there, I get the first class treatment.
You get
know
the
what I mean?
the VIP going.
Yeah, those guys remember my brother, and he's one of the Patriots all time linebackers. There's no doubt about it.
Oh yeah,
Otherwise,
I remember
in
him.
the Hall of Fame.
I remember him. Yeah, absolutely. You think Tom Brady's the best quarterback ever?
I don't know. I can't say that.
Okay. I mean, a lot of people seem to say it,
Well,
top five.
He's done very well, he's done very well. It's always tough to say who was the best. I would say he's one of the top 10 for sure.
Okay. Who's two more? Give me two more top quarterbacks that you played against. That you would say these guys are top.
Wow. Two top quarterbacks. Well, you got Joe Montana.
Right.
Dan Fouts.
Okay. Yeah. That's right. He passed for a lot of yards.
Probably the best quarterback I ever played against was Dan Fouts.
Okay. Who is the hardest running back to tackle? Is there such thing? I mean, Robert Newhouse, or is there like a running back that oh man, I hate when this guy gets the ball, or does it not matter?
I'm going to say Chuck Muncie.
Okay, Chuck Muncie. Wow, that's a name. Okay. Why was he so hard to tackle?
Because he ran like a sub 4.340 at 245 pounds. So
okay. And you were one of the tallest linebackers. Usually, you don't get 6'6" on linebackers, right, Byron? I mean,
you don't see a lot now, but yeah, back in the day.
That's true. Lambert was 6'5", right? Yeah.
Jack Lambert 6'5". Another guy, George Webster, played with the Patriots. He's about 6'5". There are a lot of 6'5" guys. Look at Ted Hendricks.
That's right.
So you look at the 49ers. They had guys that are 6'4", 6'5".
Okay.
That was, back in the 80s, 70s, and 80s. That was a trend to get big outside linebackers.
Right. Was Howie long a linebacker, or was he defensive line? I think it was line, right? Howie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was a defensive end. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Do you know the Patriots? Do you know Tom Brady? Do you know Belichick? Do you know these guys?
I know Belichick. I never met Tom Brady.
Oh, okay. Just curious. But I'm going to do our final section. What I mentioned to you earlier, I call it hit and miss, which is my word association. And I usually, my guests reveal themselves a little bit more with this. The first thing or two that come to your mind. You ready for this?
Yep.
Okay. Favorite color?
Blue.
Okay. If you were in a foxhole, other than a family member, who would be in there with you?
Who would I want in there with me?
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
No family members though. Anybody but family. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say Vince Lombardi.
Oh wow, that was okay. Yeah, I like that. That'd probably be my pick now you say it. Was he? I guess you can't say the best, but I guess he was top 10 head coach of all time, right, Lombardi?
He was a tough dude.
Yeah. He would have been a cool guy to meet. I know he was before your time, but he would have been a guy. If I had to meet one guy, here's my spontaneous hit and miss question. If you had to meet one ex-NFL player, who would it be? One player you can meet tomorrow out of anybody that ever played football.
Wow, well, that's another good question. I would say a guy that I never met that I would like to meet.
Right, you're going to meet him tomorrow. He alive or dead? You're going to meet this guy tomorrow.
I would say Jim Plunkett.
Oh, wow. There's a name. Jim Plunkett, who was a very good quarterback. He didn't seem to be great. He was seemed to be very steady. Why him?
Well, because he left the Patriots.
Right.
Was traded to the
Oilers? Where'd he go?
Raiders.
Oh, Raiders. Oakland Raiders. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would just like to know, basically how he felt about that whole thing.
Because he was a legend with the Patriots, right? He was like the guy. and
Yeah,
then
he
like in the
was good.
'70s. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but they didn't like him up there for some reason.
Okay, then he had a great finishing career with the Raiders, right? I think he was very good there.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
so I always wanted to meet Jim Plunkett because I see him being interviewed, and he's always got the Raider helmet in the background. You
So
know?
something probably happened there. Right, right. With the Patriots.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I say, what happened? What happened? I mean, did you ever go back up there? You know, because but he never talks. He never talks about what happened with the Patriots.
Is he still alive, Byron?
Yes.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. I guess it's possible you could ask him one day. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, Jim Plunkett. Wow. If you were on a deserted island, my next question: what two favorite music downloads or CDs, whatever you call them now, would you bring on this deserted island with you?
Favorite music?
Yeah, two choices.
I would get the long version of Peter Frampton. Do you feel like I do?
Okay.
And what else?
You got one more. Or you could just have one if you want, but I would imagine you'd probably want another one. You're going to be on this island for 5 years.
That'd be good enough.
That good enough? Okay.
The long version of Peter Frampton.
Okay, okay. Peter Frampton blaring that out in 90-degree heat and sunny weather in an island. That sounds pretty good. I take that one. Favorite movie?
My favorite movie? Wow.
Yeah. Or two. One or two. I know there's, depends on your mood maybe, but favorite movie?
Yeah, the favorite movie would have to be something that I would say The Wizard of Oz, The Ten Commandments. Or it'd be a Western, like Fistful of Dollars or, Hang 'em High. It'd be one of those. But I would say something that I watch as I watch The Wizard of Oz and The Ten Commandments.
What do you like about The Wizard of Oz so much? What's it about that movie?
I think the thing about The Wizard of Oz is you have humor and serious.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
It's a combination of those two things. It's like, oh, you're laughing or whatever, and then all of a sudden it changes and it's real serious about something.
Right. Scary, serious, and even sad.
Yeah.
Right, even sad. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Who was your favorite character out of those four? Those big four, I'll call them.
Wow.
Dorothy, Tin Man, Scarecrow, or the Lion?
Oh, man.
Everybody has one. Yeah, I know who mine is, but who's yours?
I guess I would have to go with Scarecrow.
Okay. Why was that? Because was he the first one she met, and they seemed to have that bond throughout the movie, or do you just he had no brains, but he really had brains? That whole thing.
I think I like the Scarecrow because he was out of all of them, he was probably the one that was funny and then serious. You know what I mean? The funniest character and then all serious.
Right.
Yeah. I like that. I like the contrast, and plus, I like the way he walked.
The way he would bend down on the walk, that little bend, that little thing at the knees. That's funny. I watched it every year as a kid, and I at the end, boy, I used to break down because when she was leaving on that balloon and she hugged the Scarecrow.
Oh, yeah, I know. That's what I mean.
That was sad. That was when I was 8, boy. That was sad stuff,
Absolutely.
Yeah. Favorite actor.
My favorite actor.
Or actress, actress, whatever.
Well, you say actress, then I have to go with Raquel Welch.
Okay. How about actor now? Give me a guy.
A guy actor. I guess Clint Eastwood.
Okay.
I like westerns, so. Right.
Were you a John Wayne fan?
I like John Wayne, and I did see him quite a bit, but he played in a lot of good movies. But I would go with I still would go with Clint Eastwood over John Wayne.
Okay, all right. A couple more words I'm going to give you. China comes to mind when you hear China.
China.
China, yes. I told you this is
Oh, okay.
difficult, you know? Yeah.
Well, I give my condolences to China, who I met. She was a WWE champion, women's champion, and
Oh, yeah.
unfortunately she passed
That's right.
away.
Recently, right?
That's what I would say.
Okay. Yeah, yes, yes. You met China?
I used to do some work with the WWE China. Yeah,
Okay.
very huge.
Okay.
Yeah,
Did you know Vince McMahon?
I met Vince McMahon a few times. Yes.
What was he like? All business?
A lot shorter than you would think.
About 6 foot even?
I would say not.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay.
If he's 6 foot, I would be shocked.
All right. So 5'10", 5'11", like that. Okay.
Yeah, he comes off bigger on TV than in person.
Muscular though, like you said. I would imagine he's pretty big, right? Muscle wise, he seems pretty big on TV.
Well, when I met him, he wasn't that muscular.
Oh,
but
okay.
the WWE, they were just building a gym in their facility. They were just building that new facility in Stamford, Connecticut, and they were putting in a workout facility. So I'm sure he started pumping iron after that. So I'm going to say I met him in 1997, 98, somewhere around there.
Okay, right. Okay.
Not only him, but his son and his daughter.
Oh, okay. You met the crew. Okay. So,
right.
Is that Shane? Is that his son's name? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. He's a big deal now, right? I mean, this thing's gotten huge. Were you a big wrestling fan?
I saw the my first wrestling event was Tom Jones and Gorgeous George in Dallas, Texas, at the convention center.
What year?
I'm going to say 1968.
Oh, okay. I heard Gorgeous George. I thought he was in the 50s. Okay.
Well, George, him and Tom Jones were the tag team champions.
Tom Jones, not the singer, obviously. There was a wrestler named Tom Jones.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. So you were a fan then, if you're going to go see that, right? You were probably a fan throughout the 70s, throughout the whole thing with Hulk Hogan.
Oh yeah.
Okay. It's like the greatest entertainment, right? Even though it's predetermined, but it's like the ultimate stuff,
Right. Oh yeah. Tremendous.
Okay, Hollywood. What comes to mind when you hear Hollywood? Then I got a couple more, then we'll be done.
I guess just that word in the mountain.
Okay, that Hollywood thing up in the mountain there, right.
I don't know if I'm assuming that exists. I've never seen it, but that's the first thing I think of. You said Hollywood, I think of that.
That thing, right? Yeah, I know people that have seen it, so I know it does exist.
Okay,
that thing.
So it is real.
Yeah, it is real. It is. Yeah. I think I might have seen it too from a distance. I was there once, and yeah, it's definitely real. It's definitely real. Biggest lesson you've ever learned?
The biggest lesson I've ever learned.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
You could take your time. You could take your time.
No, I would say the biggest lesson. What would it be? I don't know. I don't know what the biggest lesson, but I remember when I was in high school.
Or give me a lesson you learned. A lesson.
Yeah. The typing teacher said I should take typing since I was going to college. So I took typing, and that was the best thing I ever did.
Oh, okay.
Learn how to type.
Okay. Are you a writer? Do you like writing, and do you like expressing your thoughts on a typewriter, or what was the big thing about typing?
I do write. I do write, and I've written a lot of stuff, but I mean not recently. But I put together stuff. I promoted concerts. I've done a lot of stuff, but writing does help.
Who's the biggest rock star you met?
The biggest rock star I met. Well, in 1981, when we were out getting ready to play the 49ers, I did meet Jerry Garcia in a restaurant.
Oh, that must have been cool.
Yeah, it was cool because he was a 49er fan, and he just happened to be eating right next to us, him and this other guy. And we stayed in touch and became close friends. and I actually met Bill Walton through Jerry Garcia.
Oh, that's right. That's right. All right. Okay. How was Bill? He seems like a pretty thoughtful type guy. That's intense.
Tall.
7 foot, right? About 7.
He's by far the tallest guy I've ever met.
Okay. Garcia, was he chill? Was he like a chilled out guy? They use that word chill now. I get that feeling with him. He just seems like, say, hey, dude, how you doing? You're like one of these kind of guys. Was that how he was like?
They were big football fans.
Okay. I don't know if I just asked you. Were you a Grateful Dead fan?
I started following the Grateful Dead in high school. Not in high school, but in college. And then went on to meet them, and then probably I went to more concerts that I could count.
Okay.
On stage, backstage, you name it.
Was it like a religious experience? I don't mean to use that term really, but was it? I hear at that concert it was like some kind of magic's going on with that music. Is that true?
Well, yeah, the people go there, almost cult like.
Right. The tie-dyes and they're all into the thing. They could tape every show, I think, right? 400.
Well, they can sing every word to every song.
Yeah, right. That was a great thing. I kind of wish it kept going. I was sorry to hear when Jerry died, because I knew it was all over,
Right.
Well, what do you think of the Beatles? What do you think of the Beatles in history?
I think the Beatles.
You're 60s, right? You grew up in the 60s.
I think if John Lennon wouldn't have been killed, that the Beatles would probably not be as popular.
Okay, yeah, right. That's interesting. That's because back then they weren't as popular, it seemed, And then when Lennon died, it did seem to bring this thing out again,
Right.
Sort of like, yeah, that's interesting. I never heard that before. Wow. It's like when Elvis died, it kind of brought Elvis back again,
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And Byron, my last one on this. If you had one wish that would be granted today, what would your wish be? One wish. I'm a genie. I'm going to give you the wish. Whatever you want, you got it. What's your wish?
I would have liked to be a miner during the gold rush days and hitting it big.
Ooh.
A miner, M-I-N-E-R, mining for gold and hitting it big.
Wow. Okay. 1848. You're trudging out to the west, and you're digging in there, and you hit a pot of gold that's worth $1 billion or something, or whatever it is.
That's right. Go west, young man. Yes, absolutely.
Do you have a longing for that era or something? Do you just like the that whole adventure thing in the 1850s?
Yeah, no, I like that. I mean, everybody was going to California. They were going west. I mean. People were leaving Texas and going to California. It was like I said, the gold rush was unbelievable.
It must have been exciting times. Yeah.
I would say the only thing, the thing that came after that, as far as exciting, had to be striking oil like the Jed Clampett.
Okay, like Rockefeller, like in the Rockefeller years in the late 1800s when oil was starting to. I don't know if that was the year.
My great-grandmother, my great-grandfather, they struck oil here in East Texas, about 48 wells.
Okay. They really struck oil. Okay.
Yeah, that was in 1930. So the gold rush came before that, but that's the reason I said the gold rush because striking oil and gas is big, but back then, hitting a nice piece of gold on your staked out property, it had to be huge.
Right. So I imagine your grandparents were quite wealthy after that hit. Like the Clampetts.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Okay. Wow. That's a great American story, too, because you could have nothing like the Clampetts I'll use, and then all of a sudden you're in Hollywood with Mr. Drysdale or whatever, and all the bankers want you, So it's just, and you never change.
Well, the difference was my great-grandmother and great-grandfather, they had 13 kids, so they needed that oil money.
Okay, okay. Right. Okay, that I get it. That's cool. I like that. Byron, that was a great. I really appreciate you coming out. I mean, that was a great hour and a half. I mean, it just went to me. It flew by. Anything else you want to add or anything? I mean, give you the final
No, that's
word.
cool.
Okay. I appreciate that very much. That was Byron Hunt, and I'm Ray Kay, and we'll catch you later.